All about the money, so here we go, heading for Wall Street and more. The Money Master, the director of financial newsletters at Newsmax.com, Jeff Yastine, joins us. Jeff, last time I looked, the Dow was up over 200 points, which shows a pretty good Thursday on a roll here.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of those situations where things have just sort of gathered steam from the opening bell through to this point in the trading session. It started off with Visa, the credit card company. They had better than expected results. And from that point on, basically, it looks like the bulls just are owning today and coming after the Federal Reserve announcement yesterday about the end of QE and maintaining interest rates low for the time being. Gave Wall Street plenty to cheer about.
We still looking then, what, at about 220 was the last word I have. What do you see over there? Still about the same thing?
Yeah, that was at up 220 and the S&P up 13, NASDAQ up 19 points. So a good day thus far.
Everybody's happy, except, of course, if you're the people at Samsung, because let's get into the news right now. Samsung, in my mind, has always been the one, the Android phones we've always heard have been selling better than the iPhones in many instances, but now it seems like they just can't take enough of a dig out of Apple, can they?
Yeah, the problem for Samsung is they sit in this spot where they have Apple on the premium side, the expensive phones, and Apple is the premium brand. So they lose something there, and the iPhone 6 introduction, of course, takes away a lot of steam from anything that Samsung has brought out on that side. And then globally, the major growth in the smartphone market is in the basically cheap smartphones. Those are all made and generally sold in China by companies that most of us have not heard of as yet. And Samsung is losing market share on that side as well. So they're having to go in, revamp things, and really try to come up with a better plan to compete on, especially on that cheap smartphone, for lack of a better word, that side of the marketplace.
Nothing's cheap in a smartphone last time I checked. Let's dig into this whole Apple Pay issue again. There's so many different players that are going on in this right now between Apple Pay and MCX and Walmart and Best Buy and Target. I mean, who's really going to come out on top here? This is one heck of a battle to watch.
It is, and it's one of those things where consumers will obviously make that decision. It depends on, if you really want to go with Apple Pay. I mean, somebody like myself, I don't have an iPhone, so how could I do Apple Pay? On the other hand, what I read about this currency merchant operation that Walgreens and Walmart and the retailers have been involved in, it sounds like a pretty clunky sort of situation where you have to scan a thing called a QR code. It just doesn't sound like it's very convenient. Most of us, you just want to pay and get out of there. And this sounds like something that has a little too many steps involved for a lot of us. But we'll have to see. I mean, it hasn't been rolled out yet. Most of us haven't used it.
Don't worry about it. One of these days, we'll put it right on our finger right here. A little thing, bump. You just put the finger on it. It's all done. We're all going to be computerized one day anyway. Jeff, all out of time for today, my friend. Thank you so much. We'll check with you on Friday and wrap up the week.
Thanks, Ed.
And let's not forget, if you want to find out what's going on in news and money, all you have to do is go to Newsmax.com, click on the Money tab. You'll get the money news right there every single day. All right, when we check out Wall Street news and notes, the simple mantra is always money talks. As we learned in this edition of the Countdown to the Midterms, that phrase means something in Nebraska.
There's a lot of talk about money on the campaign trail, from who's spending what to where it came from. It's not unheard of for millions of dollars to be spent on a single race. But talk about money, specifically the incumbent's money, could end up hurting Republican Representative Lee Terry in his re-election bid. Democratic challenger Nebraska State Senator Brad Ashford has made money the focus of this race. Last year, Terry voted for the government shutdown. That by itself might have been a forgivable offense for some voters, but as the Ashford campaign has repeatedly pointed out, Terry refused to give up his own $174,000 salary, as many members of Congress did. Terry at the time defended his decision, saying he had, quote, a nice house and a kid in college. Ashford also wants to cut congressional pay by 10%, something else Terry has been vocal against on the campaign trail. But money could end up hurting Ashford too. Politico.com reports Terry has been able to out-fundraise his opponent by more than a 3-to-1 margin. Dollars Terry is putting to work on the airwaves to defend his record and go after his opponent.